Gavin Webber, and in this video we're going to be showing you how to use Himalayan rock salt in cold process soap making. Now the first thing I'm going to add is some titanium dioxide. Now that's been diluted in 1 tablespoon of water, and it's 1 tablespoon of titanium dioxide. Now just give that a quick stir. Now if you want to know how to make our basic recipe, you can pop over and have a look at the quick method of making cold process soap. Now I'm just adding in some fragrance oil. That's about 25 grams. So just give that a quick stir till it's at an emulsion. And now we're going to stick blend it just to bring the colour out. You can see that the titanium dioxide mixes through quite readily when you use a stick blender. I would have been there for hours if I had have used that spoon. So I'm bringing that to a really light trace, because what I'm going to do is to split this batch into 2 and add a bit of colour to the soap. So it's at a light trace now, very light trace. You can see that there's patterns forming on the surface of the soap batter. So we'll pour some of that into a jug. So I only need a little bit to put a pattern through the soap. So we'll leave the rest of the white soap batter in the pot. Now we're going to add some blue soap colouring. And try and bring out a little bit of green, first, and then a little bit of blue. We're trying to get a turquoise sort of sea green colour. Now I find that it's much easier to use a balloon whisk, a very thin balloon whisk, when using these jugs, as it mixes the colour quite easily, as you can see there. Now it's not quite dark enough, so I'm going to add a little bit more blue. Now that's the colour we're after, because we're using a fragrance oil called Ocean Breeze. So we're trying to get a seasidey sort of colour of the ocean. So we're just mixing that through now. Alright, so when it reaches the desired colour, we'll just put that aside. We'll get the soap mould out. And very soon the rock salt will come into play. Now rock salt has some fantastic property. It's full of minerals, besides sodium chloride, and it's lovely on your skin. So we're going to put a little bit of white in there. And then we're going to add in some traces of the turquoise or blue. So just drizzle that through. And we're going to add a layer of the rock salt on. This is just a metric cup of rock salt. So we're using pink Himalayan rock salt there. So just sprinkle that, just a little layer there. Now you don't want your layers of rock salt too thick, because what happens is that the bar will split in 2 if you've got too much rock salt in one layer, because the soap hasn't combined together. So you can be as abstract as you like. So I'm just being very artistic here. So to make it a little bit easier, I'm just going to pour the white into another jug so you don't get that drop effect in your soap. So add another layer of the rock salt. Not too much. And then just pour on some more white, then a little bit more blue, just making up some layers here. Making sure that there's no air gaps at all in the salt itself, because that's what will cause the soap to split when it hardens and you get to use it in the shower. So just making a few more pretty patterns. The soap is starting to thicken up now, so it's making it a little bit difficult to pour. That's why you've got to work quite quickly with this method. And a little bit more rock salt. And then another layer of white. And just use a spatula to get the rest of that out. There we go, all the remaining white is out. Just level that off gently. And we're just going to put a pretty layer of blue on the top. So it was a bit thick in the jug, so I gave a bit of a stir. So that's about the best as I could do, so I'll just flatten that out with the back of a spoon. Just so I don't combine the two layers, I'm just using the back of a spoon gently to move the blue around. Or blue, green, turquoise, whatever we're going to call it. There we go. So we haven't mixed too much white, those layers together, so that'll look nice in the soap. Just put a little bit of a peak in there. So once that layer is finished off, you can sprinkle as much rock salt on the top as you like. The excess will just fall off, so that's okay. So I'm going to make a distinct layer with the rock salt, and then I'll press it into the top of the soap bar. So make sure you've got gloves on your hands at this stage as well. Just keep them on and while you make it pretty, because you don't want to get any of the soap batter on your hands. It's still caustic at this stage until it goes through full saponification. So that's about as good as it gets. And we're going to put a protective cardboard top on top of the soap mould, just so that nothing falls onto the soap while it's curing before we cut it. So just put the cling wrap over the top, and then we're going to put that on a tray, and we're going to wrap it up in a towel. So just a simple tray and big enough to fit the mould, and we'll get some old towels. We're going to use that to insulate the soap as it cools down over the first 48 hours. This is just an old bath towel. Just tapping the soap, make sure there's no air bubbles in the thing. There we go, pop it onto the tray, we'll just wrap it up. So it just slows down the cooling and keeps your soap a consistent colour. Make sure it doesn't go through gel phase and ruin the lovely colours that you'll have in your soap once you're finished. So now it's all wrapped up, and we'll cut that in about 24 to 48 hours, depends on the hardness of the soap. And here's a cut up bar. There's some soap there, lovely. That's the same block I've just made, fully cured and ready for sale. Well, thanks for watching this Little Green Workshop's video tutorial, and you can find all of the products to make this soap over at littlegreenworkshops.com.au. Thanks for watching.